What's up there guys, GarethWilliam414 here, and today I am bringing you my Mai Valentine Deck Profile. Mai's deck is probably one that we're really proud of. It's not the strongest in terms of monsters and everything like that, but it just works very, very well. The way her deck is built, it's built around her Harpy Ladies and her Amazonas Warriors. And like I said, it just works really well. It's been known to even just easily run down Kaiba and Yugi's decks. So don't forget to head over to my channel. You can see this deck in action. I've got a Joey versus Mai duel on there. Let's see if we can get this video to 25 likes. That would be absolutely amazing. With that being said, I'm going to start with obviously none other than my 3 Harpy Ladies. So it's a 4-star monster with 1,300 attack. Not the strongest, but the way the deck works, you can power these up to be quite strong. Next up, I've got 3 Cyber Harpy Ladies. 4-star monster, 1,800 attack. I know this card's name is always treated as Harpy Ladies. It's a character deck, and I really wanted to include both 3 Harpy Ladies and 3 Cyber Harpy Ladies, so that's why they're in there. Next up, I have got 2 copies of Harpy Lady Sisters. So 6-star monster with 1,950 attack, 2,100 defense. This card can't be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned by using the effects of Elegant Egotist. Final Harpy monster I've got is Harpy's Pet Dragon, and it's a really cool card. Look at that. 7-star monster with 2,000 attack, 2,500 defense. I'm shaking really badly. Basically, the effects of this card gains 300 attack and defense for each Harpy Lady on the field, so this guy can become quite strong. Next up, we have 3 Unfriendly Amazon. A beast of a monster, really. It's a 4-star monster with 2,000 attack. Its downfall is its effect that you have to offer 1 monster during each of your standby phases as a tribute. If you don't, you have to destroy the card. So I've got it there really just to run down a monster quickly, or there just to stall a bit. Next up, we have Amazonas Fighter, a 4-star monster with 1,500 attack. Her effect is you take no battle damage from battles involving this card, which is a really cool effect. Next up, we have Amazonas Chainmaster, 4-star monster with 1,500 attack. Her effect is when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can pay 1,500 life points to look at your opponent's hand, select 1 monster card in it, and add that card to your hand. I remember she used this card against Marek in their duel in the semi-finals of Battle City, I think it was. And basically she stole Ra from his hand but couldn't use it. Then we have Amazonas Swordswoman, another 4-star monster here, 1,500 attack. Her effect is the opponent takes all battle damage to this card's controller. So basically, any battle damage, your opponent's going to take it rather than yourself, which is really cool. Then we've got Amazonas Archer, 4-star monster, 1,400 attack. You contribute 2 monsters to inflict 1,200 damage to your opponent. It's not that great, but it's in there anyway. Then we've got Amazonas Blowpiper, a 3-star monster, 800 attack, 1,500 defense. You select 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. During each of your standby phases, it loses 500 attack until the end of this turn. So once again, it's alright, but Mai used it, so it's in there. Her final monster is Daname's Witch, another card that, I'm an admirer of the artwork. I think it just looks really cool. It's a 4-star monster, 1,800 attack. It's a pretty decent monster, to be fair. So that does it for her monsters. We'll move on to her spells. So I run 2 copies of Elegant Egotist, and you're going to need this to get your Harpy Lady Sisters onto the field. Next up, I have 2 copies of Cyber Shield, which you will equip to your Harpy Ladies or Harpy Lady Sisters, and it gains 500 attack, so they can become quite buff. Her next spell card is probably my favourite card in Mai's deck. It is Harpy's Feather Duster. Amazing artwork. Basically what this card does is it destroys all spell and trap cards that your opponent controls, which is awesome. Next up, this card debuted in the Waking the Dragons arc. We've got Harpy Lady Phoenix Formation. Basically what this card does is if you control 3 or more Harpy Ladies or Harpy Lady Sisters, you can target as many monsters as you control as long as it's not more than the amount of Harpy Ladies or Harpy Lady Sisters you've got in the field. You destroy the targets, and the monster with the highest original attack, you inflict that as direct damage. You can't special summon for the rest of the go, nor can you conduct your battle phase either. Then I've got Amazona's Spellcaster. Until the end of the turn, what you do is you switch the attack of one of your face-up monsters and one of your opponent's face-up monsters. Yours has to be an Amazona's monster. Then I've got Spell Reproduction. You send 2 spell cards from your hand to the graveyard, select 1 spell card from your graveyard and add that to your hand, which can be really useful. I got a copy of Graceful Charity. You draw 3 cards, then discard 2. Then we have Card of Sanctity. Like I've said in my Yu-Gi deck, this card, we've added it to the anime's effect, so both players draw until they have 6 cards in their hand. I've got a copy of Pot of Greed, Monster Reborn, Dispel, and finally Stop Defense. So that does it for Mai's magic cards or spell cards. We'll move on to her traps, and I'm going to start with Mirror Wall. What this card does is basically whenever your opponent's monsters attacks, their attack is halved as long as this card's on the field. But each of your standby phases, you've got to pay 2,000 life points or destroy the card. Her next trap card is Shadow of Eyes. This card is awesome. When your opponent sets a monster in face down defense position, change it to face up attack position. If the monster card has a flip effect, it is not activated, which is really good, especially if you're dominating with a powered up Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters. Then I've got 2 copies of Dramatic Rescue. Activate only when a card is activated that targets an Amazonas monster. Return the targeted monster to the owner's hand and special summon 1 other monster from your hand. Then I run 2 copies of Amazonas Archers. Activate only when your opponent declares an attack while you control an Amazonas monster. All monsters your opponent controls are changed to face up attack position. Flip effects are not activated and they all lose 500 attack, and they've all got to attack. Then I've got a copy of Trap Jammer. When your opponent activates a trap card during the battle phase, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. We've got Fairy's Hand Mirror. Switch the opponent's spell card effect that specifically designates one monster as a target to another correctly targeted monster. That was a mouthful. So basically, I'd use this, say, if your opponent was about to use an equip card on one of their monsters, I'd flip that over and then use the equip card on mine, obviously, if it's right. Then we've got Dust Tornado. Destroy 1 spell or trap card your opponent's side of the field. You can then set 1 spell or trap card from your hand. And her final card in the deck is Gravity Bind, which she used against Marek. Level 4 or higher monsters cannot attack. In character deck duels, this card is awful, to be fair, because I mean, Mai only runs 1 monster that's lower than a level 4, and not many of the character decks really do have like lower monsters. They do, but sometimes it can just really drag the game and make it quite boring. So there we go, guys. That was my Mai Valentine deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, head over to my channel to see this deck in action. Also got more character deck profiles over there, character deck duels, and I do Yu-Gi-Oh openings as well. So till next time, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care. Thank you.